welcome to my channel. I've just had a quick idea for a video and I wanted to get it off my mind because it's driving me nuts that I haven't recorded it. I'm just wanting to show you what tools that you need with starting with polymer clay, or the cheapest way to use tools and things for if you just want to see if it's your thing. So that's it, that's all I'm here for to tell you really. First thing I'd say that you'd probably need is polymer clay. These are a few of the packs that I've managed to find. This one was £5 from the range. I'm in the UK, so I know it's not going to be widely known around the world if anybody is kind enough to watch my videos, but this is £5 and it's got 18 different colours in it, and it's just a nice little pack to have a go with it. It's not the best of quality of polymer clay. It's it can be quite soft. I've not really caned with it before, so that's my next project, just to see what it's like to be to cane with it. But my preferred brand of clay is Fimo. Now I know you can get this around the world. I know in America there's Primo and Kato and all those ones, but these ones are sort of the starter packs from Fimo. I think they do different ones, but these are the ones that I've got samples to show you. These are the 12 packs that I've got. It's pastel and fashion, and you basically get half-size blocks of the big ones that you can get. These retail at around £10 each, so depending on what you wanted to spend is what you want to try. They've got some lovely shades, and you can blend these and make colours that, you know, aren't here if you just want to play around really. And then the bigger pack has got 24 colours in, and this has got more of your brights and your primary colours and things. So depending on what you're wanting to make with your clay, depends on what sort of pack that you want to get. The next thing that I'd say is a cutting board. Now you can get really nice cutting boards that are made of glass and they are really good, but they are expensive for my taste in crafting. I like to try to be as frugal as I can. So a while back when I was starting with polymer clay, I realised that one of my chopping boards was, the picture was coming off the back of it, and I thought, I could use that as a cutting board. So I peeled the picture off, and then underneath it I stuck some free printable graph paper that you can get online. It's really easy. It just helps with marking out and cutting and things like that, just to sort of help you get the right gauge of the size of clay that you want. Probably the next thing I would say is, bear with me, I'm trying to find everything while I'm talking to you. Oh, where's it gone? I'll be right back, 2 seconds. Right, sorry about that, couldn't find my blade. Right, so these are tissue blades and they're quite flexible. You can get them in different thicknesses and lengths. I've just got long ones, but these are just for basically cutting up your clay and your canes and things like that. They're really useful, especially with them being able to bend. You can do different shapes with your clay as to what you want to do. They're probably about £1 off of any of the websites. If you order them from China, they're generally cheaper, but you've got to wait quite a while for them to turn up. You can use other things as cutters. They're not as precise, but I found these in the pound shop in the UK. They're 99p shops and things like that, and they're basically paper scrapers, but they've got a sort of sharpish edge on the end, so you can use those. They're not as precise as what the proper tissue blades are, but if you want to just try it for really cheap, I think you can get 3 or 5 or something in a pack from the pound shop. So it's up to you whether if you want to give that a try. The next thing I'd probably say would be a rolling pin. Now there's different ones that you can get, and these are acrylic ones. This one's actually from the fondant section of any shop really. You can get them online, and then this is one of the acrylic ones. I apologise, they're rather dirty because they're well used, but if you don't want to sort of spend on getting one of these, you can use other things to roll out your clay. I have a pasta machine to do a majority of my rolling, but if your kids have got Play-Doh, you can pinch one of their rolling pins and then it's not costing you anything. You could also use like anything that's just basically round and smooth. You can use cans, paintbrushes, felt tips, anything that you can think of that's round, just to roll it out. Now to do your to get your clay for different thicknesses, the pasta machine does it really easily for you, but they can be expensive, and if you're just wanting to start out and try it, a cheap way of doing it is basically getting some lengths of cereal box cardboard, and then you can put your clay in between them and you stack them up for different heights and depths of what you want to do, and then you basically put your clay there and you roll it out like that, and it'll not go any thinner. So that's how you can do it if you don't want to, you know, buy your pasta machine. So, and the next thing is probably a Maxi tool. Now I'm going to bring these back in actually, I don't know how I took them out. These were the idea of a fantastic lady in America. Her name's Susan, and her channel's Turtle Soup Beads, and she's really inspirational, and it was her that got me into polymer clay to start with. So I'll not show you how to make these, but she's got a wonderful video that shows you how to do it. Originally the polymer clay companies had a Maxi tool, and it was basically the same sort of shape as a rolling pin really, but it had got the different marks on each side of it for widths to cut your canes and your clay. But again, she thought of these, and they were free. There were cereal card box and a bit of wire that I got and some glue and a bit of sellotape. So check out her video and she can show you how to use them, and those are really easy to make. And then I just have them marked as to what size they are, and it's really good for measuring out your canes. What was the next thing? I had got a list of what I wanted to tell you about, see whether I can find them. Oh, tiles for actually baking your clay in the oven. If you've got a few old tiles left over from any DIY projects, oh, there we go. These are just what I use. These are the small ones. I do have some bigger ones, but you can put your projects directly onto this and put them into the oven. If you haven't got any of those, you can just use an oven tray and put some baking parchment on it, and then your clay won't stick to the tray or whatever you've got it on. These you can put your work straight onto it, because you might be doing veneers or anything like that, and then it can go straight in and then take it out. So that's an alternative for your tiles if you didn't want to use that. Now the other thing that I like to use a lot is for when I'm burnishing out pendants and things like that, is cellophane bags. I use these for storing my clay in between. These are the ones that you get for putting handmade cards in and things, but I basically slice them down the sides and put my clay in there and store it like that, because the plastic doesn't eat into the clay, so it stays like that, and then it's ready and conditioned for me when I've done it. But as well as you can use, I don't think I've got, no, I can't see my box from my pens in the moment, but basically you use this to put over the item that you're wanting to burnish and mould out, and you can see what you're doing and you just rub it. And you can use paper, and I think there is probably, you know, like things that you buy for stuff, but these are cheap or free. If you can even use a cereal packet, you know what the cereal's actually in. So you're using the box for your Maxi tools, your rolling thicknesses for your clay, and then you can use the bag, you know, for your burnishing. So it's threefold really. You get your cereal and then you get 3 tools out of it in the end. So that one's a good one. What else have I got on the list? Oh, different texture tools for creating impressions within your clay. There are proper, you know, sort of, they lend themselves from the fondant section within, you know, cake decorating and things like that. And I know Fimo and all those companies, they do their own version of impression tools. But really you can use anything that's around your house that's got any texture. I tend to just find things, you know, and think, oh, that might make a nice mark. I nicked one of my husband's old screwdriver headsets. That's got all different ones in. You can have textures, you can use embossing plates, stamps, anything that you can think of that will make an impression within your clay. You don't need to go out and keep buying things to be able to just play with it. I'm trying to have a look. I did make another video on making your own ball tools. Again, you can buy these, but if you've got these things already, mine are decorated with polymer clay because I had it. But it's basically different size glass beads for the head, and then I had a wooden dowel that I glued with my glue gun, and then I covered it with polymer clay. As you can see, I've got different sizes. I did have another size, but it seems to have gone walkabouts. But that's the way that you can do it if you've not got them already. And like I say, those are really cheap. That's just a few beads and a bit of clay if you've got it. The next, this is probably the tool that I use the most, is the needle tool. This is one of the dowels. This is probably the first one that I got, but I used it for paper crafting. So if you do that, then you might already have one of these. These again, Susan at Turtle Soup Beads, she's got a great video on how you make these. Mine's looking a bit grimy at the moment because, like I say, it's really well used. And it's basically a T-pin within a lump of clay and decorated. This you can use for absolutely loads of different things. If you've not got any T-pins, you could use a toothpick, a normal needle, or a normal pin. They're all different thicknesses, so depending on what you're happy with or what you've got, then just use that. You don't need to be going and buying anything special for it. But like I said, this is probably this and the tissue blade is probably the main ones that I'd say that you need. Another big thing is cutters. For if you're wanting to make beads and things, you might want to try and measure out the amount of clay that you've got. So if you use these for like marking out canes, this is just a short cane that I've got left, and you'd put it on there and you'd press down on it and you'd have your indentations. Whereas if you're just wanting to measure out, say, some scrap clay, but you've not got any regular cutters, you can find different things to use as cutters. Now, this is just a bottle cap that you can use. You can get different metal cutters and different shapes. It doesn't matter actually what the shape is really, it's just to get the same amount of clay for whatever it is that you want it to do. There's these, you could use a fizzy pop bottle cap, and it's just to cut out the same amount of clay for each time you do a bead. So it doesn't matter what shape it is, so just something to make sure you've got the same amount of clay for each bead. You can get other cutters that are in all different shapes, but these are all extra things that you don't need to get to start out with polymer clay. I mean, these are just some daisy cutters. So it's up to you. It depends on what you're actually wanting to do with it. Like I said, just something to cut out the same amount of clay for each time that you're producing a bead. What's the next thing on my list? Moulds. For if you're wanting to do, you can get special moulds that can go in the oven, or that you just shape different things. I'm just trying to find an easy one to get. This is one of my resin moulds that I've got, but you can use it to actually just mould your clay and then take it out. This one's for different pendants and things. These are really cheap, but again, you can make your own. If you've got any scrap clay or even air drying clay that you want to use up, or because that is a lot cheaper, the air drying stuff, and you can make an impression of anything that you want really. So if you've got a nice button or a seashell or just something that you'd like to recreate as a, as something more than once, you can mould it round it. So that's another option. So just think about the things that are already around your house. What else have we got? Oh, for skewering your beads, again, you can use your needle tool or a normal pin, something like that, and that'll put your hole through. Another thing is that I found Tiny Pandora does some fantastic cane caps and cane benders. But if you're just starting out, you won't have those. Now, these are from my paper crafting stash, and they're basically made of the same sort of thing, I presume, because I've not actually got the proper ones. But it's basically something that goes on the end of your canes to stop distortion. So these are really big, but these have been used, reduced down, these canes, but they basically go on the end like this. And then when you're reducing down your canes, it stops some of the wastage on the ends of the cane. You can use the stuff that you end up trimming off the ends of your canes to make lots of other lovely things, but if you want to try and reduce the amount of wastage that you have, then these are good to try. They're just basically Perspex templates. Well, yeah, the templates from the paper crafting section, but the cane caps are really good because they have them in different shapes and sizes. They also have something called cane benders, which is basically, I think, as far as I'm aware, they just have round ones and square ones. I haven't got them, but basically they're these sort of shapes, you know, just dowels, and this is actually a stamping block, and it's just acrylic. Again, they do ones that fit inside each other, so they're better storage, they take up less space, but these ones are just what I've got and what I'll use until I have some of the other ones. But these are out of the paper making section as well. These were just for some stamps that I've got, and it just basically creates indentations within your canes when you're building them, for you to put another part within your cane, whether if you're doing your cane building or just wanting to change your cane up. But you can, again, if you can find anything that's hard and rounded or rectangular, you could actually just do, like, say if you've got a ruler, because that's got the same sort of shape, right? It's just something with a right angle, and then your round ones, again, different sizes for whatever you're wanting to do. What else have we got? Oh, acrylic block. See if I can find my... your acrylic block is really good for if you're doing lentil beads, and mine seems to have gone walkabout. I'll just see whether if it's... No, can't find it. But it's basically a square version of the acrylic templates I've just showed you. But if you've not got one of those, a lot of us at this time of year will get, well, it's December, we'll get given gift sets that usually have a drink in and a coaster or something. This is my husband's, and it's just basically a piece of glass. It's a non-porous thing really, and all it is for swirling when you're doing lentil beads and things like that. You can actually work off of these as well, so it's just a smaller area. So if you've not got one of these chopping boards, you could use one of these, and it's just so that if you've got something that's non-porous to work on really, and that you can move things around. So yeah, that's just another option. I think, what else have I got on my... sorry, I wrote this down in the middle of the night the other day, and can't remember what I've put on. Yeah, cutters, rolling pins, blade. Yeah, I think we've got the next thing probably is, what do you store your canes in? I basically just have a little box, and I've lined it with baking parchment. My canes do have gold leaf and silver leaf around them. This is something again that I've got off of Susan from Turtle Soup Beads. It's lovely, it gives lots of sparkle, and then when you reduce your canes down, you've got an extra aspect to your canes to put in, and then I think it's lovely. But it also stops the canes from sticking to each other. And it's gold leaf. I'll show you, see if I can find it out my drawer. Oh, I don't know where. No, I had everything really, really organised, and here we go. I knew what it was. Now, again, I got this from one of the China websites. I think it was AliExpress, and it was really, really cheap. You can buy Fimos and theirs, but theirs is a lot more expensive. And I think I got 300 sheets of gold, 300 of silver, and of a coppery colour. And I think it was about £3, something like that. and again, you've just got to wait for it to come. But in between each layer there's these pieces of paper. Now these are fantastic for working on, for either putting onto your tile or whatever it is that you're working on, just to move things around so you can, it's easier to work with. And then the final thing I'd probably say is how to store your beads. Now if you're just starting out, you're not going to have a lot of things to put them in. These, you can find them in the pound shop or the range, again where I found that first pack of clay from. They're really good, but again it's added money, so it depends on what you want to spend really. Now these Pringles cans, got this idea from Susan again. Can you tell that I like Susan? But she uses them slightly different. She uses stack. She's got a fabulous video with it. But me, I've kept just, these are the smaller tins of Pringles that you can get, and I just keep them like that, and I just decorate them so they're nice. And I put them in them, or you can use egg cartons, just anything that you've got really that's a storage. Just have a look around what you've got within your kitchen really. And the other thing is these little press seal bags, you know, just generally you can get, I think, when you buy stuff off the internet, they come in these. Just save them. It's just another easy way of storing either your clay or your paints. And I think that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.